very much. So I'm replacing a colleague of me, Olav Heidalseth, and I realized that the presentation he gave me, the title of that, doesn't really match what is in your program. But what I'm going to talk about is a project we are doing on lipid-based nanoparticles at the Norwegian University of Science and Technology. And we have heard now that nanoparticles and liposomes, they have a history of more than 30 years, but there is still a need to study the in vivo behavior of these particles to really optimize them for treatment. And that's what we are doing. So this could then be a project within the NMP or in the health program. What it's focusing on is drug delivery and the diagnosis. And these particles, they will then be used in MRI imaging and fluorescence imaging. So in Trondheim, we have competence in imaging, but what we would like to have more collaborators on is people with background in biotechnology, chemistry, and experience in making nanoparticles, especially then the targeting of nanoparticles to relevant receptors. These bimodal imaging particles, then are they aiming at targeting receptors such as the receptors in the brain and the receptors in the tumor. The primary objective is to obtain a new knowledge about the particles and then the transport across biological barriers such as the blood-brain barrier and the extracellular matrix in tumors so they can reach the target. And the secondary objective will be then to obtain more knowledge about which factors that affect the MR sensitivity of the nanoparticles. So the main actor at the moment is now the Norwegian University of Science and Technology, where we have an interdisciplinary team. But we would like to extend that to also then establish collaboration with other groups so we can aim then at building a network for future projects. The nanoparticles we currently are working with, that is the liposomes, which is fluorescent labeled and can also contain contrast agent for MRI. And we have this nano emulsion also then with some MRI contrast agents and a probe for fluorescence. What we're then studying is the effect of size of particles and targeting. And what a main research tool that we use in our activity, that is a transparent dorsal window chamber, which then is implanted on the back of mice, so we can really image then right into the tissue. And this image here then show that we can, what we can obtain when we are now labeling the nanoparticles with a ligand for the integrin, alpha V beta 3 on endothelial cells. So we can see that we have the particles in the vasculature, and then following these mice as a function of time, we can look at the kinetics in the behavior of these particles. So with this, I just want to see if there is more interest in using these window chambers and study nanoparticles and their behavior in vivo. Thank you.
Thank you very much.